Hey guys, quick review. Just bought a new Big Tex 14 LD dump trailer. I've got a SR 90, which is a 12 foot. This is a 14 foot. Just kind of want to go over a few things that I find that are poor design changes that they've made in these things. Don't know why they do them, if it's just cost or what it is. But so let me just get started. I'll flip the camera around here and we'll take a look. Okay, so you can see 14 LD, and I think this is basically not the commercial one. This is the more, the cheaper one that they have for, homeowners and things like that. So it's a little bit different that way than, say, the LP. I believe that's the difference in the model numbers. But first thing I'd like to show you is on these bed sides, these brackets here that give it strength used to be in line with your stake sides. So the stake side pocket would be here, stake would come through, and let me grab a 2x4 here. Stake would come through, and then it actually would have some backing against the frame of the vehicle, so that you could put your sides up on it. Well, now, for whatever reason, you can see the stake side pocket stands off quite a bit, and there's really no support down here. So if you put your 2x4 in there, and like you're going to hold it in there for support, there's really nothing to give your stake side support unless it's like way out here. So you have to build something in. These aren't even anywhere close to being the size of a 2x4. They're like 4 3/8. And a 2x4 is 3.5 by 1.5 inches. The 1.5 here is not so bad, but as you go up, there's no consistency. See, like this won't go in there unless I beat it in there with a hammer. So here, for whatever reason, an extra 1/8. Plus, there's no support. It's just, what kind of design is that? Really? So now I've got to re-engineer the whole way I put my boards on these trailers, because I do have another one. I do use these things to make money, and I want them to look the same, and I want them to function the same. And I've got to come up with a new design on how I do things, because they want to, Tex wants to design these things differently. What is that? I got to put some kind of 2x4 or something in there, and it's still going to have play. It's just ridiculous. Other than that, the beds are a little bit better. They don't weld all the way up. They stitch every 24 inches or so. But I noticed this time that they've used like a poly seam seal or something to seal up the corners, which they never did before. It was always open, and rust would start getting in here, and these things start to spread really quickly. So at least they've went to the extra expense of doing that. Another thing I noticed, very cheap, not putting their caps in here. So these are already rusty inside. They go all the way through. Not a big deal. It'll take forever before these can rust out. But as you can see, look, right in there, you can see all the rust already, starting in there. And it's pretty poor. Why not put caps on that? And they usually fall out anyway. Caps are open, sides. These were usually welded shut. These are now open, just cutting corners. And I find it kind of in poor taste. I'm buying a $10,000 trailer. I want it to last. I want these things to, not be afterthoughts. So what I do is I come through here, and you can see there's no caulking here. I caulk all this to keep my trailers from rusting out quicker than the rest of them. And you can see they just skip this little detail, and that keeping water out of there is what keeps these things from rusting. See, there's another gap there. They just come through here. It takes about an hour to caulk a whole trailer. You can see through there. Actually, you can see through to the other side. You put caulking in these things and just seal them up a little bit, they'll last a lot longer. But, this might be part of their design. If they want them to rust out, so they can charge another $10,000. But anyway, one thing they did do right in this size, went to an I-beam frame, which is awesome. So these are huge I-beams. Structurally, this thing is stronger than any trailer I've seen on the market. So I do appreciate that they are making some changes in these things, but Here's another thing. This is supposed to be able to load equipment. Another downside just thought about. You can see the ramps here. You can see they're supported 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big. You know, this one here is a pretty good size 3x3 box. There's a 2x2 box, roughly like 2x3, but something like that, all down in that area. Well, yeah, that's over the wheels, and that makes sense. When this thing's closed, it's about here. You want that strength there. Look at this large gap here, from here to here. There's 4 feet, nothing there. That's where your wheels or your tracks go from a skid steer. Probably in this neighborhood right here, you're gonna be loading it forward. So you've got a whole section here that doesn't have any support on it. And even if it's not that, I mean, think about dirt, anything else. You've got this whole piece here, 1, 2, 3 over there, has no, lateral supports there. Look at this, they've put a ton of them under here, but they've skimped at this end of the trailer, which it really is where it matters. This is when you're hauling heavy equipment. 7,000 pound little skid steer, 8,000 pound skid steer in this thing, which they're designed to haul, doesn't have any support where the wheels and the tracks go, which I find a little odd. So they've skimped out there on the design. And in the corner, nothing. Not a box in the corner where you would think there'd be some support. Nothing. This is all just sheet metal. Your support ends here and there, so all this has no support. Very, very cheap. Their boxes are, to me, not the strongest thing on the trailer. Obviously, the frame. Frame is, again, awesome. Their dump mechanism and everything is awesome. Not too crazy about how they have this bend in every hose. Every one of the trailers I see, they come up, they bend really sharply and go out the bottom. Same thing here, the return line bends all the way back. Why not just have these turn straight down, and not have these gigantic bends in them here? They're tight bends, really, but they're just a really tight bend. All of them have it. I don't know why. That's another thing that I don't like about these trailers. But hey, it works. I haven't had one fail yet, but they start to crack. The hoses crack almost immediately. Within a couple of months, you'll start seeing cracks on the hoses here, and it's just looks terrible. From the standpoint of having to maintenance these things, it's kind of like think about it. And this one here, they ran the hoses over and around, and that one's sitting on top of the grease fitting, so they might not have seen that, but that to me looks like it's going to wear after a while, rubbing on that grease fitting. So something's going to be, looks like it's already starting to wear right there. Just as brand new. It's got grease all over it. And I don't know, I'll probably have to do something there to get that tied back so it doesn't rub on there and chafe and pop a hole in it later on. But little things like this, quality control. For the most part, they're getting it right on the frames. But on the trailers, the boxes, they're just changing the design up. Oh, one more thing. This hook, typically on the doors that have the spreader on them, these are on the door back here. And then you run your hook and you hook it into the door here and it comes over. So if I'm putting wood on this thing, I can't start my wood. Typically, I'd have my wood all the way out here. I can't start my wood going up until here now, or I have to cut it into the wood or something so that my wood can come up here. So I'm losing, not that much, but still, it's the look of the trailer. My other trailer, identical look. I want to have it so that they look like, fleet trailers. I don't want them to look pieced together. That's why I buy Big Tex. I don't go to PJ, Diamond C, none of that stuff. I want all my stuff Big Tex because I know they make quality stuff. Well, they're changing it, and this hook is in the way, so I'm going to end up cutting this hook off and then probably having to put it here on the back of the trailer, shorten it, and so I can use it here. Because it's just in the wrong place. The wood's going to ride right across here, to here. So it's just another gripe that I have. But this is ridiculous. This part, anybody could see that. Again, though you're still watching the video, that's the way it's supposed to look in there. It's supposed to sit against the frame, have some support, so when you put the wood on it and wood loads against it, it doesn't do that. That's just ridiculous. But anyway, my take, my 2 cents. Overall, good trailer. I'm happy I bought it. I'm just going to have to make a couple changes, and again, poly seam seal the whole thing, make sure that it doesn't rust out on me. I've got a 2021, very little rust on it, and I've been using the crap out of it. I go to the extent of, even on these frame members here, I seal inside and out of those frame members As you can see, there's only 3 welds on that frame member. 1, 2, 3 welds on that frame member. All the way across. 1, 2, 3 welds. And everything that gaps in between, if water gets in there and there's no powder coating in there, these will rust and they'll start to puff up where they're touching, and the next thing you know, you've got rust holes coming through your bottom of your trailer. You can see it right there. No paint. These things don't get painted completely, so in order to keep these things from rusting out, you got to be proactive and you got to get in there and seal these things before you start using them heavily. So I'll spend an hour sealing this thing up, probably about 6 tubes of polyseam seal, just to seal it up and get it all, you know, so I can use it. And that's it. But if you end up buying one, just be aware of those things on the trailers, because some of the models are different, and they might be something that bothers you, as they do me. And otherwise, great trailers, just a few quirks. And hopefully the guys in the factory see this and kind of maybe make a video to answer why they're doing it, or maybe make some changes, because I intend to buy more. At this point, I've got a couple of them, and you know, not planning on slowing down anytime soon. So, all right, thanks. See you on the next one.